Debt collectors can be ruthless. They make their money by being persistent, so it's wise to know what rules they have to abide by so that you know your rights. I'm going to talk you through what they can't do so that you can be ready to report them if they step out of line. Debt collectors aren't inclined to give up, and you might find that they inundate you with letters or emails. It's not very common for them to turn up at your house, but if they do, rest assured they don't have the same rights as bailiffs. You don't have to answer the door to them, so you can shout through the letterbox politely, letting them know that you'd rather communicate on email or on the phone. Whenever any debt collector contacts you, the first thing you want to do is make sure that they can prove that the debt's yours to pay. The burden of proof is on them and not you, so be ready to ask them to prove that you owe the debt. That should keep them off your back for a little while. Now, if the debt is yours, then the simplest solution is to work out how to pay it. Agreeing a method to start paying back will normally keep them from contacting you. That's assuming that you stick to your agreement. Now, it's worth knowing that the debt collectors are regulated by the FCA, so they can't legally make you pay more than you can afford. If you feel like you're being bombarded, make a record of every time you're contacted. Debt collector harassment is an official complaint that you can make to the Financial Ombudsman. They shouldn't be contacting you a few times a day or at unreasonable times. You shouldn't feel threatened, under pressure to pay more than you can afford, and they should never claim to have the same rights as bailiffs. Rest assured that they can't discuss your debts with other people. So don't worry about your nosy neighbour, your boss, or anyone else that you don't want that information disclosing to. They will get into serious trouble for broadcasting it. The best thing you can do is get on top of your debt and stop them chasing you. Communicate with your debt collectors and see if you can come to an affordable agreement. If you're making an effort to try and pay them back, they should hopefully leave you alone. If you're looking at your finances and you don't know how you're going to pay them back, have you looked at any debt solutions that might be available to you? The best thing to do is to educate yourself to see if any might be suitable for you. I'll quickly run through some of them now just to give you a bit of a rough idea. There are pros and cons to all of them, and that's why you have to be aware of how they work. Debt management plans, they're an informal agreement that you make with your creditors to pay back your debts at a lower, more affordable rate. Normally it means paying less each month but over a longer time frame. Debt relief orders, they freeze your debt payments for a full year, and then if your situation hasn't changed after 12 months, then the debt's written off, but they do have a strict eligibility criteria. Another option is offering a final settlement. If you happen to have access to a large lump sum, then you can offer that to the debt collectors or the creditors they work for. It might not be for the full amount you owe, but sometimes they'll be willing to write off the remaining debt because you'll be saving them the time for chasing you down for payments each month. Individual voluntary arrangements are another way to deal with debt. It's a formal agreement between you and your creditors to reduce your payments to one simple payment each month. It lasts for 5 years, and then at the end, any remaining debt's written off. IVAs are legally binding, so you will need to keep up with your payments. With bankruptcy, all your assets are reviewed and some might be sold off to pay back your debt. After a year, any remaining debt will be written off, and like with an IVA, during your year of bankruptcy, you shouldn't hear from your debt collectors. Some of your belongings may be sold to pay for your debt and your credit score will become very low. If you want to look into your options in more depth, I've linked to a form on my new website below the video. And it's got a few multiple choice questions like how much debt do you owe and how many people do you owe? At the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with to provide you with all the information that you need about debt solutions that are available. So click the link, go and check it out and let me know how you get on.